Hey everyone, Henry here with Wyman Custom Lures. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a small batch of Koya Niiyama collabs I was able to find. These are becoming extremely rare to find, and in brand new condition like this, it's even harder. But I've got a small selection of different shapes and sizes and different inserts. These are all available for sale besides a couple of them that have already been sold. But if you're interested in getting any of these, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. And you can also reach out to us on Instagram or give us a call. My cell phone number is on my website. But if you could please like this video and subscribe, it really helps with building the channel. I really want to do some really cool stuff in the future for you guys. But specifically, I'm going to be covering how to properly identify a Koya Niiyama collab. These are definitely one of the easier lures to identify, but if you're not familiar with Koyas or Niiyamas, and especially the Koya Niiyama collabs, if you haven't seen them before, there are some other lure makers out there that are now starting to make fish heads inside of lures, and that yes, they are well detailed, but they're still not on the level of what Eric and John have produced together. So there's going to be probably like 4 or 5 things about the Koya Niiyama collabs that are going to be key giveaways of knowing whether they are true Koya Niiyama collabs. And I'm also going to use some just normal Koyas as well to reference to as well. So in this batch, I've got a large 861 with a Mahi. I've got a large Poi Dog with an Aku inside, medium Poi Dog with an Aku, a large Poi Dog with a Shibi. This is one of my favorites, the medium Poi Dog with a Mahi, and it's got the teddy bear eyes with a triple paw. That thing looks amazing. I've also got an ice blue large Poi Dog Mahi. These things are extremely rare to find. This is the only one I've ever seen in person. I've got a red Opelu medium Poi Dog. These are also really hard to find. And then the second largest collab that they ever made, an XL Kona plunger with an Aku inside. I do also have an XL plunger with a red Rover inside or a red Opelu inside. And then I also have a straight runner with an Opelu insert as well. So first things first, to identify a Koya Niiyama collab is very simple, but there are some key things to look out for. And also some of these things will also determine the value of these lures, and also what year they were roughly made in. So first things first, I mean, the detail of the Koya Niiyama collabs is just absolutely insane. The detail that John does with his fish heads is just unbelievable, and I've never seen any fish heads like these before. A lot of fish head lures, they look very goofy and cartoonish, but John somehow makes the most realistic stuff in the world, and his detail and his stuff is just insane. And if you look at the Akus, the Akus look like real skipjacks, and they do work as well. I mean, I've seen really big fish course on these lures, but just the detail alone of what John does with his fish heads, no one's been able to replicate, and I don't think we'll ever see another lure maker produce fish heads anywhere near as good as his stuff. Just the detail of all the gills, the pectoral fins, the lateral lines, and everything is just so perfect every single time. And you can really see the detail with this blue Mahi one. It's just absolutely insane. So that's one thing to look out for, is just the quality and detail of the fish heads. There's just, you will not beat John's work when it comes to that. Second thing to look out for is specifically with Eric stuff. So Eric does his saddles like this. So he has his saddles are kind of shallow. They've got a slight taper inwards for the vinyl to get a good grip on the saddle when you tie it with floss. But he's not doing a super deep saddle cut like a lot of other lure makers do, like say Marlin Magic or Black Bart or any of those other guys. They're very shallow, and they're also polished as well. Majority of other lure makers, they just leave it sanded and rough, more so for the fact just to get the rubber skirts to grip onto the saddles a bit better. But I don't think it matters. But Eric just goes the extra length to just producing the nicest lures possible. You know, if you had a rough sanded lure saddle here, you'd be still missing half of this Mahi insert right here. You'd only see it right here, but with the polished saddles, you can see it right here as well. So that's just one thing to look out for. Eric always does polished saddles, and they always look like this as well. Now, the second thing to look out for is the signing and the dates of these lures. So on this straight runner Opelu, this is one of the earliest models made in probably 2016 or 2017. They did not actually sign these lures at all. So, and they didn't date them either. So, with just a couple of the things that I've pointed out already by the details of the lures and then the way the saddles are, that's a good way to know that you've got a true, genuine Koya Niiyama collab. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can usually identify most lures really easily. So, but this one here not being signed tells you that this is one of the originals that were made in the first couple of batches in 2016 or 2017. So arguably, this is probably the most valuable one since it was a part of the first batch ever made. So, but that's up to different people's opinions. Some people might like them being signed on the bottoms of them, but which John and Eric did do eventually in the future with the collabs. But that's just one thing to note. Some of the collabs do not have any signatures or dates on the bottom of them. Now, when it comes to the ones that were actually signed, they started doing that back in, I want to say, the end of 2017 and in the early 2018. And here you can see that Eric and John have signed the bottom of the insert. They would always sign the bottom of the insert. They would never sign it anywhere else if they did sign it. So if you're seeing a lure signed here on the sides or on the tops, it's not a Koya Niiyama collab. They always signed on the bottom of the insert right here. So you got Eric's signature and John's signature here. Now, moving on into 2018, Eric signed and John signed as well, but then they also dated the lures as well. So this Aku large poi dog was made in 2018, and they started doing that for a lot of the lures after that. So you might be able to find some 2019 models as well, but those are pretty hard to find. Most of the ones that are dated, you're only going to find all the dated ones are going to be in about 2018, maybe 2017, but mostly 2018. So this one's just signed by them, not dated. This one here is signed as well, not dated though. I think this large poi dog, oh no, this large poi dog isn't dated. This is just I think this one came out about at the end of 2017 is what I think when this came out. And that's signed by John and Eric as well. And then the Shibi signed. And oh, this XL Kona plunger, this one is signed and dated as well for 2018. And then this Red Opelu, that's just medium poi dog, that's just signed. But also, they did actually also number the lures as well out of each batch. So let me see if I can show you guys that example as well. So when Eric and John were making lures, they also numbered them as well. It's kind of hard to see on this lure here, but there is a number. You can see it right there, number 2. So this was number 2 out of, I would say, maybe 10 or 12 of these lures. So this is the medium 861 with an Opelu insert in it. They did also number these as well out of I've never seen one where they've actually labeled the number out of the total quantities, but I know for sure that they did label some lures with the number of the batch on them. So that's also something to look out for as well. And now, so with Eric's lures as well, all these collabs are polished as well on the bottom of them. So Eric only recently actually started just sanding the bases of the lures down because people wanted to be able to stick the rubber hook locks to them a lot easier. And so he basically just started leaving them sanded down as well. So for all larger lures, I've got 2 examples here of lures by Eric that were made in different years. So this is a large 861 and this is a large 614. And as you can see, one is polished and one isn't polished on the bottom. So Eric just started doing this like late last year, and this lure was from mid to early 2021 or 2022. I can't remember when I got this lure, but that's also something to look out for. Eric, with all the Koya Niiyama collabs, Eric never just left the bases sanded. He always polished them. So if you see a Koya Niiyama collab that is that's sanded down, except for 10-inch lures, he has always sanded down the bases on 10-inch lures. I don't have any of the 10-inch lures available anymore, but for the 9+, for like the small 614, the 9+ jets, and he did make some collabs with Jon in the 9+ size, but the bases were sanded down. He always sands down the bases on his 9+ bullets and jets, so that's something to always look out for. If you're lucky to find a Koya Niiyama collab in like a lure this size, usually it's a very small like Opelu or Aku head, or sometimes actually it might be the Blue Pearl series that they did as well. The bases are always going to be polished. So if you find any of the larger lures, like the large Poi Dog, the medium 861, the 12-inch straight runners or anything like that, all of them should be polished. If they're not polished on the base, that should be a major red flag. But these are all available for sale. If you would like any of these lures, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment section below, or give me a call, or reach out to me on Instagram at YMN Custom Lures. A couple have been sold already, but there's still a large amount of these lures available. I really would appreciate it if you could like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm really wanting to do some cool videos in the future, but I hope you guys like this video. Please like the video, and I'll be producing some other cool stuff in the future, and I really just want this to be like a very educational channel, just giving all the different tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. And I'm definitely going to be getting over to the Bahamas later this summer and doing some actual fishing videos and doing some footage from pulling lures over in the Bahamas for big blue marlin. But like I said again, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps with the growth of the channel. Like the video and also share with your friends. Yeah, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me personally. Thanks, guys.